Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt, Mike Doyle.
Mike Doyle, how are you, sir?
Good, how you doing? Hey, good news. I'm down at my daughter's, she coaches Memorial Field Hockey, and I'm sitting here in Wyndham High School watching the game, and I'm listening to you on the show. I didn't think you guys reached that far.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty
I
good.
get him in Massachusetts on 3.
Our reach is far and wide.
Well, it seems like in the Derry, I was driving down the road, it seems like around Derry,
Right.
you start to lose the signal a little bit, but the high school is kind of raised up here, so maybe that's why. But
Yeah.
hey, but the main reason for my call is, again, I mentioned this last week when I called. Don't you think that there's a little bit of overkill on this Bible thing?
No.
Don't you think the crux of the whole theory was that the VA will allow anybody who comes in there to work whatever religion they want to believe in? I think that was the whole understanding of the people are just turning it into this Bible and Catholic, and I think the bottom message was no religion is going to be exempt from coming into the VA for somebody who fought for this country and is in the VA. Yeah.
Then
that's my take on it, but
why did they remove the other text then from the table? There was a
Who cares? The
bottom line
is
I care.
You just make
hey, listen to me. I'm a veteran.
I sent it to Matt the other day, and I kind of knew he wouldn't play it. But
I care.
How about? Let me give you a couple of things for real discussion. How about great new employment numbers for the last quarter?
No, let's go back to what you just said, Mike.
How about the roaring economy? How about the stock market coming back after the fake recession talk from the left?
Let's talk about the issue you just talked about.
Unemployment staying at 3.7 across the board at all levels.
Let's talk about a president that is a liar, a fantasist, and a vice president.
What's that have to do with what I just said?
A vice president that lied about a provenance of this Bible in order to justify that being put back. You're talking about liars.
I wasn't talking about Trump.
You know what
I was talking about the economy.
Do you know what honor is, Mike? Did you ever step? Did you ever step?
You have Trump disorder.
Did you ever step up?
You hate the man so much that you can't realize that what he's doing as a businessman is making this country run at a pretty good clip.
He's a marketing hustler. I've known about since 1984. He's the equivalent of a siding salesman. Even they're more honest than this ass. But did you ever step up to the line and take an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States and the country? Did you?
No. What does that have to do with anything?
Because I did. I know people that I have to live every day of my life because I did that in pain, and I have memories. Are
you a veteran?
Oh, Jesus, what do you think? What do you think I wear and a hat?
Who's
all
done
this
more
time
for veterans than any
I'm
other
a
president?
disabled veteran. I have to go up there. I have to go up there. I have to be offended by that. And if you don't get proper
service, can you go somewhere else?
That's my right, Mike. I won that. I won that with my pain. Well, I did it in a way your hero, a 4F, never could do.
He made it so you could do that, my friend.
He didn't serve his country, did he? There's men up there that friggin' you don't know the horrors they went through. You don't know.
What does that have to do with anything?
What is that?
I'm not arguing
How can
that.
you say that? You're talking about the Veterans Administration. You dare talk about that and trivialize it? That's an insult. I was up there after the massacre in Quebec, there were people given free license to make anti-Muslim comments up there, and I objected vociferously. Matt knows about what I went through.
This is what and we're having a conversation.
But you're not having a conversation.
When people are psychotic like you.
You want me to
veterans.
Do you want me to Pal Gatsis to sue you?
Trivialize the veterans?
How dare you say that?
I never did anything of the sort.
Listen, buddy.
But you guys think that if you just yell it out, it's true.
How dare you say that to me?
The veterans or
You've never sacrificed. Have you ever made any sacrifice, Mike?
That's your lean-to.
What's your sacrifice for the country?
Yell it into the mic, and it's true.
Because you're offensive.
That's how it works with you.
You're ignorant. You're ignorant. You're ignorant. You have no right to say what you did about me. Come and say that to my face.
I'll say it anytime to your
Come
face.
up and say it to my face.
What does that have to do with anything? My father was a veteran. He died in the
and
VA
now
hospital
you have
because
no-
they misdiagnosed he had a bleeding ulcer, and they told him he had hemorrhoids. He died 2 days later when we brought him to the Elliott Hospital. I'm not saying anything bad about that. The veterans try the best they can. What I was saying was Trump did a lot for the veterans. I don't
What
know why.
has Trump done for the veterans? What's Trump done for
yelling into the
veterans?
microphone.
What's
what
Trump
did I do
done
to
for
trivialize
veterans?
the veterans? Explain that
What's
to me.
Trump done for veterans? Tell me. Tell me
What are
what
you
he's done
talking
for
about?
veterans. Tell me.
Just answer my question.
Tell me what he's done, mister.
Your way to answer
You're
the question
so
is
smart.
to yell
You're
in the
so
microphone,
smart.
and that makes it
Why
true.
shouldn't I yell when somebody so ignorant is going to tell me what's going on up there? Do you know,
I'm not
Mike,
telling you what's
do know,
going
Mike,
on up there. I didn't say anything about that.
Do you know, Mike,
so there
I
you go
am a
again,
journalist.
making up stuff. Fake news.
I'm
There
a
you go.
journalist. You have no, Mike, you don't know what the truth is. You're so besotted.
I'm not telling you what's going on up there. You just said I did. What did I tell you? Nothing. I'm
You
not saying that. All I
trivialize
said was
everything.
Trump
You just
has
said
gone
that
a long
Trump is
way
doing all
to help
sorts of stuff for
veterans
veterans.
and their
So,
medical
what has he
benefits.
been doing?
That's all I said.
What's he doing, Mike?
And-
you know
And you
know
said
more
I
than I do about
trivialized
veterans
the
issues.
VA,
Tell me.
and I'm going to yell at you because you trivialize. What are you talking about?
You just said you trivialized. Mike, you are a Trumpite to the very soul. He mirrors you. You're incapable of friggin' arguing about anything. You trivialized the Bible, and then now you're pretending you didn't. Something that shouldn't be
how
up
did I
there.
trivialize the Bible?
Mike, you're a person my father, who was a siding salesman, would say,
How did I trivialize
you have
the
to
Bible?
go back
Again,
to Genesis
you're just
to
making stuff
explain
up as you
everything.
go along to have
Mike,
your argument.
no, Mike,
How
you're
did I
ignorant.
trivialize
You're
the
an
Bible?
ignorant person. How dare you call me a psychotic? I could sue you for that. Do you understand
Yeah,
that?
okay, all right.
Yeah,
sue me.
you think I
Sue me.
can't? Why shouldn't I? That's what you have to deal with. That's Trump ignorance, you know?
I know. You
are
can't
an
answer
ignorant
one question.
person.
You
You know-
can't answer one
Why don't
question.
you
All you can
shut
do is
up?
yell on the phone,
Buddy, why don't
and
you ever
say that
shut
I'm
up?
a Trumpite and this.
Shut
How
up.
did I trivialize the veterans
Shut
by
up.
saying Trump has helped the veterans with some of his legislature?
With some of his
How
legislature?
did I trivialize
What's
the
that?
veterans?
With his legislature. What does he carry around, the legislature on his back?
No. See, I mean, you
Tell
can't
me what
answer
he
the question.
did. Tell me
'cause
what
there
he
is
did,
no
mister.
answer,
You know
'cause
more
you're
than
wrong.
I do about
So-
veterans. You know more about the Bible than I do.
Just because you're a
Tell me.
veteran doesn't mean you're right, my friend.
Yeah, I know more about being a veteran than you can ever dream of. Could you imagine that in your life? That,
nobody
like
said,
Trump,
nobody said any
that
differently.
Trump,
Nobody's arguing
could
with
you
it.
ever imagine in your life that I might know more about what it's like to be a veteran, what it's like to be
who
forced
said
to
that?
go to chapel when I'm in basic training, to be discriminated
Who said
against?
that? Where'd you hear that?
Mike, come on. You play these rhetorical games. You know, it's
What do
all
you mean
the type of
rhetorical?
games.
Did
It's
I say
called
anything about you being a
rope-a-dope.
veteran?
You're a rubber band man. Oh, who cares about the
You're
Bible up
unbelievable.
there? No, Mike.
You're the problem, man. You're the
No,
problem.
you're the problem, Mike.
You
Because
just
you
make it up as
worship
you
a
go
hate.
along.
You worship a hate monger. You worship a
I don't
hate
worship
monger
anybody.
that lies. Yes,
I don't
it's
worship
a cult.
anybody. So
You
I don't know
belong
what you're
to
talking
a
about
Trump
again.
cult.
Another lie.
You belong to a Trump
They just
cult.
keep coming at you one after another.
You belong to a Trump
I
cult.
don't worship anything.
Yes,
I
you
hate
do.
some of the stuff Trump says.
Oh, well, let's hear
I
it. What do you
despise some of the
hate
things
it?
he says. I'm like,
Let's hear
but-
it. Tell us that.
But his actions are different than his words, my friend. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, yeah.
You guys just don't want to talk about the economy, the stock market, the unemployment, everything that's
You mean
ripping.
the Obama
Everybody's working.
economy he
Everybody's
inherited?
happy. People have money.
The Obama
But no,
economy
you don't want to
he
talk about that.
inherited.
You want to talk about a Bible.
Why don't you
and how,
shut up?
How
you
trivial it is, or
Look what he just said.
and how
you see what this
how
he says?
there was no possibility that storm was going to go through
you know what?
Florida.
You're an offensive
the original
person.
drawings showing it could have gone right through Florida.
Oh, yeah,
and gone
Mike,
into the Gulf.
where
it would
you
seek
live in a
warmer water,
fantasy land.
and then at that point, possibly it could hit Alabama.
Mike, you live in a fantasy land that this guy, you're just enthralled to him, and you just trivialized what you said about the Bible again. Somebody could get killed up there, Mike. Do you understand that?
I'm not saying.
Do you understand that somebody could get killed
about?
by these evangelical nuts? Did you listen to any of the show? You satanic Jews and stuff? When I was doing an interview up there, a guy, I left it out of the article for Carol. He says, I got a gun in my car. And they're there. He knew all about this stuff. He's got Christian tapes talking about this various stuff. When I worked against that
does that make that guy
anti-Muslim,
normal that he's got a gun in his car?
when
He's
I had
threatening
Mike, you never have done you've never put your ass on the line anything except maybe at a betting on a horse.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because you don't know what it's like to be a soldier. You don't know what it's like to be a veteran. You don't know what it's like to be in harm's way.
My father fought in the Korean War.
Your father
never
makes
drafted.
you a veteran.
I didn't have that opportunity, but
he makes you a veteran.
I have family members that were in the war.
So that makes you a veteran.
I have a good friend. One of our best friends' son is still over in Iraq.
It's osmosis, right? It's osmosis. You're probably why don't we combat veteran? We can give you a Medal of Honor just like Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump's a great war hero, right?
What
I'm
is wrong
listening
with
to you. You know, Mike, because I live in Manchester, New Hampshire, with people of, this is ignorance. You're ignorant.
Yeah, You just don't want to talk about facts. That's all.
What? No, I'm talking about
every
a fact.
now and again.
I'm a veteran. Does that get through your head?
Instead of your meandering, that the whole world should listen to you because you're a veteran.
No, Mike. I said I'm a veteran. I know what it's like to be forced to go to a Christian ceremony. I know what it's like because I'm the person I am to stand up when me and my Jewish buddy we're going to be going to an Easter service.
I'm sure Matt wants to get on with the show. Poppy, thanks for fighting for us. I appreciate your spending your time in the war and for the freedom that we now live and my family live.
I wasn't in a war.
Thank you very much. See you later.
All right, Mike. Thank you for the call.
Jesus Christ! This is the thing.
Oh boy.
I mean, this is the Trump cult. I mean, you hear the crap. A Bible. That's the whole. This guy, Trump. He's a born again Christian. He doesn't even know anything about the Bible. This is all a thing, in my opinion, based on lies, to create a potential Charlottesville-like situation. Here I'm a journalist. When I was doing the stuff against that bigot, the anti-Muslim bigot, everybody knows that it was me, and the guy got fired.
Yeah,
I have to hear that. I tried to do a project with veterans up there. No, he's a communist, a journalist. What does Trump do? Why don't you bash the journalists? Why don't you hit them? All that stuff. So here's Mike talking about this. I'm writing about this. Mike, a guy who's never put his ass on the line for anything, except, the $2 window. And, I'm exaggerating and stuff, but hyperbole.
Yeah.
And here I am up there. People, it's not inconceivable that somebody could get killed up there. They're making this is New Hampshire. This is the first in the nation primary. That jackass, who I say is Pat Sajak, not Hitler, is up, is here at that rally, religious freedom. He brings that up.
Right.
This is a thing they're going to use in the campaign. And I think it's obscene. Not one presidential candidate's talking about this. The right-wing media, Washington Examiner's all over it. Right-wing newspapers and everything carry this story. Mm-hmm. But that's not just offensive to me and triggering. It's an obscenity. But my life's in danger because of that. And because of this president that Mike worships like the risen Christ. Hyperbole again.
Yes.
But there is a cult aspect to this. I could get shot up there or something. That's something I have to live with. But, that's something I choose to do. I got sued by a prominent official. We don't talk about stuff like that because I got the guts to do something. Mm-hmm. I mean, and Mikey Weinstein, we're just reading this. He's had death threats.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
These are people that run around with guns. There's a Christian on this station that has had people on his show, and you were on it too, that took up arms against the United States in Oregon.
Yes.
Yes. There are people associated with this and he said that God saved them from a hail of 144 bullets. There are people willing to take up arms and talk about killing people. And let me remind you, in Manchester, New Hampshire, David Irving, the #1 Holocaust denier in the entire world, came here. I guess annually when he made his trips to spew his bilge about, Hitler was wonderful and wasn't responsible for the Holocaust. And what did he say? those doors that they say were on the Death Factory, the gas, where they gas people, like at Treblinka and Auschwitz. Well, those were actually just doors used for gas chambers in case the United States and Britain, drop gas bombs. This is the type of stuff
right.
a once respectable historian who later on you look at the history. This is what people have to deal with.
Yeah.
I remember breaking, because I used to be able to get into the dark web, the story where armed right-wingers were going to go to an Gabby Giffords, to confront her with loaded automatic weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I passed that information on, and they moved it into another thing.
Yeah.
But, there's an active culture here.
Yeah.
They sell sniper rifles in this state. Sniper rifles, where you can kill somebody a mile out. You really need a sniper rifle, right? You need silencers.
What is the status of silencers legally?
You tell me. You know more people on that side than I do.
I do, but I'm not sure where that sits currently. I don't think you can get them, but I'm not sure.
And to think that Bible, that is how.
Yeah.
Hitler, I'm not talking about Trump. Trump was Pat Sajak, but Pence is a nasty number.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very nasty number, and he's aligned with these militant Christians. I'm not going to have my family, forced on me. I'm not going to have Jews insulted, Muslims and that. That's not what I suffered for when I took the oath. It's not about America's not about money and a big stock market, or you can get the latest 4K TV from $380 at Walmart because it was made by slave labor in China. It's about the rights of human beings.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's paramount. And here's this tyrant that's going to take some girl from Guatemala, ship her out before her treatment is done.
Oh, I know. Her cancer treatment. Yeah, it really is just the death of human decency, that situation.
The central book, I don't know the Bible like Fred Bonig or anything. To me, it's just metaphor anyways.
Right.
I don't take it literally, and much of it's appalling. But Christ isn't about lying, deceit. This Northeast POWMIA network, it's got like 4 buzzwords. One of them is truth. It has no truth at all. But, an evangelical Christian, I guess, certain evangelical can lie, lie about stuff for the greater good.
Right.
And then they project it, because I'll come out with that next week. I've got all the stuff where they project it on the Muslims. Oh, Muslims are all lying. Oh, Omar took an oath on the Quran. That's not valid in the United States. It has to be on a Bible. And, she's just a duplicitous Sharia, lover anyways. But, to say that religion isn't one of the force driving the Reagan Republican Party.
Oh, yeah.
That was, Reagan came to power on the backlash, the racist backlash, the white backlash in California and in 1980. Here's a guy that launched his campaign in Philadelphia, Mississippi, which the symbolic place where 3 civil rights workers were murdered just 16 years before.
Reagan's the one who gave us the welfare queen.
And he also called up Nixon when he's governor and said,
we learned that just recently. Yeah.
When China, which would be Taiwan, nationalist China was thrown out of the UN, and Red China, which they called at that time Communist China, the China we know, was seated in the UN. African delegates allegedly were dancing in the aisles. Yeah. So Dutch calls up Richard Nixon, called them monkeys.
Yep.
Macaca means monkey in, I guess, I know it is in Portuguese.
Yeah, I played the George Allen clip yesterday because I played that. Why did I play that? What was it? Something had reminded me of George Allen. Oh, Gary Landrieu in Louisiana using the N-word on a radio show as he's running for governor, and apparently was completely oblivious that you can't say that.
When did he do that?
Yeah, he was on a show called The Right Chicks. So our friend Chris James, he had called into the show and did a prank. He pranked Gary Landrieu while he was on the air. And then Landrieu then used the N-word in the aftermath of that.
You mean it happened just now? In recent times?
Oh, yeah. It's Louisiana. Remember, it's the state that almost made David Duke governor back in the 90s.
You know, the thing, Mark, this is the last state, And I only found it out recently when I went to a reparations thing, and somebody told me that had Martin Luther King Day. Something else.
Yeah, because
fought against it.
We held out. For a while, it was just Civil Rights Day. It
was just Arizona, and then we were the last one.
Yeah.
And Martin Luther King.
It made us look really
Jr.,
bad.
Who, other than Franklin Roosevelt, the greatest American who wasn't in government, it would be, always talked about these Christians that use the Bible to demonize blacks as the children of Ham, to deny them their civil rights and everything, to deny the centrality of that book, Bible, being used as an act of oppression, and to deny that Christ is a Jew. In his entire lifetime, Christ was a Jew. He didn't create a Christian religion.
Right.
He didn't create a Christian religion. The Christian religion wasn't even created until 300 some odd years later by the Armenians. That's the first Christian church. I mean, you got Saul of Tarsus slumping the tub. It would have been a cult of Judaism, part of Judaism. But to hear this stuff and then to say, "Oh, you're talking about a Bible," and it's the Obama economy, which it was going to go into a natural recession, according to Jeff Cassell and others.
Right.
But he just keeps stringing it out to try to get the recession that's going to hit till after his election.
Yeah.
But it might hit in spring or something. It's going to be disastrous.
There was economic data today that, the newest job creation numbers, not the ones that Mike was referring to, but the ones that came out today were not great. They weren't terrible. But
we're talking about Mick Jobs, too.
But they're not great.
We've lost manufacturing, and it's never coming back.
Right.
Which is sad.
And part of that is due to the tariffs, and the agricultural sector is getting killed. So it's a little hard to give Trump a lot of credit for a great economy when the economy, I think, would be better, and I think most economists would agree with that. The economy
went into a mild recession.
Well, but the economy would also be greater if it weren't for this stupid, pointless trade war. That there's just no reason to be doing this.
Slowing down other economies.
Absolutely. Well, and our own. The farmers are getting killed.
Jeff Cassell has been writing about this on Facebook, but he won't come on and talk about it.
Farming bankruptcies are at record numbers right now. They're getting killed. And so it's really hard to sit here and say, "Oh, Trump is doing a great job
but he's
on the economy." He's wiping out the farmers in the Midwest. He's wiping them out. He's killing them.
Who cares?
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mike,
great.
but yeah, I'm glad.
And he's defending white Christian America.
Right. Yeah.
And Mike just said that we really were going to go to Alabama. Here's Mike. I have a magic Sharpie too. Here's Mike.
Oh, let me put the camera on you. There we go. So,
the line's going to run around Mike. Whoa! I didn't think it would hit him. Where is he? I didn't know that Mike was in Manchester.
I think he said he's in Wyndham.
Oh well, it was heading towards Wyndham, but it knocked him here, right?
So I really, even though we disagree, I really like Mike, and I always appreciate his calls. I did not like what he said about you, though. I want to be on record about that. I didn't like what he said to you.
When he said trivialization, a veteran.
Well, no, I'm referring to what he called you. I didn't like that.
Well, a veteran gets triggered.
That was out of line.
That's why you shouldn't have a Bible up there.
Right.
We easily get triggered.
Yeah. That wasn't.
Well, he just was saying it, and
I know. I didn't.
The heat of it.
I know. Oh, I know that. And he's a good guy, and he has a good heart. And he didn't mean it, but I didn't like that he said that. But
I got triggered.
Yeah. Yes. Well, you do get triggered at times.
And how, huh? That's one of the reasons they shouldn't have a damn Bible up there. Because some veteran on the other side will get triggered.
Right.
But what Mike won't let me say is a veteran put a text, a Jewish prayer book, a Wiccan book, a empty notebook, and something else, I'm not sure. Could be Hindu or Buddhist. And it was immediately taken off because under the direct control, it's not under local control.
I don't think Mike realizes this part.
Because
in fairness to him, I don't think he understands.
Yeah, but why doesn't he read about it before he starts talking about it?
Well, yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think he realizes that part because he kept saying, well, if it's open to all religions to put a book there, he doesn't realize that.
But he's calling
no, it's not.
Why don't you guys talk about how wonderful Trump is?
I know.
Well, Mike, I don't lead my life that, the stock market is the arbiter of all good money because I'm a Christian. And although it's hard to say that sometimes, money's the root of all evil. Even I don't have any money, Mike. I'm a disabled. If you saw what I got from the government, it's pretty sad because they deny everything when you're putting into the Veterans Benefit Administration. The VHA, which is the Veterans Hospital, try to get you better. The VBA tells you to go take a flying leap.
I do know one thing Trump did do for veterans, which I thought was a good thing. Recently, he signed into law the we talked about it because you were joking about you should have gone to law school. The debt forgiveness on college loans for veterans.
Oh yeah,
which is a good thing. That's a good thing. I'll give Trump credit for that. I'm glad he did that.
Can I tell the Al Baldessaro story, or do we have time?
We have about 3.5 minutes.
Well, I'm up there. Chris Pappas is doing great. He's on the Veterans Committee. He's completely, taken over from Carol Shea Porter, who was a stalwart defender in the Manchester VA. We were up at a meeting at the Manchester Veterans Center in Hooksett, where people were talking about, the services and everything. And they were talking about this bill Carol Shea Porter introduced, because some of the vets, talked about giving veterans in the VHA system, Veterans Healthcare System, dental benefits, because dental health is so important. Contribute to heart attacks. You have to pour dental health.
Yeah.
Some of the guys got, you only get it if you're 100%, even if you're 90 or 70. And then they were saying, why doesn't there's 55 sponsors. Chris put the bill in again. They're all Democrats, not one Republican. And these guys are Trump-loving, Republicans. Even though they respect Chris, they do. And Carol, because they knew they worked for her.
Yeah.
And they say, well, why the president, nobody's telling the president about this, and that's why it's not anybody's, why it's not getting done. It's not being put in the president. Finally, I said, after everything broke, because they were talking to one of Chris' staffers, I said, well, you have Al Baldessaro as a friend of Trump. He acknowledged him yet again here during the rally, which I said good things about Trump, if you remember, which Mike always forgets.
Yep.
In the heat of his psychosis. A little tit for tat. And how these Trump people got triggered. So I said, why don't you go have Al talk to him? And the guy just ignores me. I said, yeah, just silence you. He says, oh, what'd you say? I said, well, why don't you have Al Baldessaro talk to Trump? Have to tell him about it. He says, it's not that easy. Yet during the entire public presentation, the president hasn't heard about. No, he's like, if only he knew. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, they treat this guy like he's Jesus Christ.
I know.
Yeah. Not Jesus Christ, because Jesus, he could never be Christ. He's the Jehovah that they pray in the Psalms. Oh, Jehovah, I want you to dash the brains of the children of my enemies out, on stones.
Yeah.
Like he's God on the throne.
I know.
And that's why that Bible matters, because it's a lie, and it's a provocation, it's a manipulation.
Not the Bible itself, but the placement at the VA.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter whether it's a Catholic Bible or Protestant Bible.
Agreed.
New English, this, that, or the other thing, which shows the ridiculousness of saying one Bible represents everything. They claim this represents everybody. Jews, atheists, everything. It's a lie, and it was based on a lie. And if Mike can't realize that lying is offensive, particularly to somebody, like me, I feel sorry for you. And you support a president that's the biggest liar in the history of the United States. Or possibly the world.
Right.